It's really cool to just have people in their 20s in general on this platform to, talk about real life shit that people who are 20 years old, have to deal with.
Hello, faithful. Thank you again for joining us here in this quarantine edition of ISD. Today is April 27th. It's raining outside. I am in a sweater and basketball shorts. I think I slept in these socks, but I don't stink, so it's all good.
Sleep with socks on?
Hell yeah.
I could never.
Sleep with my socks.
How do you sleep with socks on?
It's warmer, G. It just, I can't, like, when I got my bare feet out, majority of the time I sleep with my socks on. When I have my bare feet out, sometimes I get too cold. And a lot of times my feet hang off the bed too. So
do you just sleep straight-legged the whole time?
Sometimes when I wake up, like I don't know, sometimes my legs are throwing up gang signs. Sometimes my legs are straight. Sometimes I'm on my side. You know what I'm saying? Like sometimes my legs, I don't know, bro.
I hear it's actually easier to sleep. Like it's better to sleep if your feet are warm. So I guess that, that makes sense.
Correct. And that's kind of what I was getting at.
Is that true? I have no idea.
I don't know. What do you think, Ken?
I actually didn't even really pay attention to what your question
was. This is a great way to start off the podcast.
Transparent. I don't even know what your question was.
Oh, okay. You hear?
We were talking about wearing socks when you go to sleep.
What time I go to sleep?
No, wearing socks when you go to sleep.
Oh, yeah, wearing socks. It's just not it.
Thank you. There you go. Okay.
The dust and the dirt and the stuff, that you collect on the socks throughout the day. You just get in the bed and out everything. I just can't do that.
Exactly.
What if you put on a fresh pair of socks before you go to sleep? I know that's a waste of socks, low key.
Do you have a special pair of sleeping socks that you put on every night?
No, but I should invest. Shit, that sounds good.
I wonder if sleeping socks are. I'm gonna look this up because that actually sounds
good. Because if it's not real, I'm gonna make that shit and get rich.
So what's gonna be like? What's gonna be different from a regular sock?
I don't know. Maybe a little thicker.
There are people that put lotion inside of their socks when they go to sleep.
Oh,
a bunch of lotion and go to sleep. It's like an old, I don't know if it's a Southern thing, but I know it's like an old Black people thing where it was like.
I've never heard of that.
That is disgusting.
I feel like I'd take my feet out and it would just be covered in lint.
Disgusting. And I am not someone that has done it commonly, but I do know that when you wake up, it makes your feet really, really soft. So.
I could see that. Do your feet also have like lint and everything connected to them? Like, do you got to wash your feet after the fact, or?
Probably. I guess it depends on the material of sock.
Yeah, I guess so.
I guess, but who cares about having soft feet?
Okay, so I looked up sleeping socks, and sleeping socks are a thing.
She said, I don't know. What you said? Sleeping socks are a thing, Pierce?
Socks do exist, yeah. And I also found out why wearing socks helps you sleep, because it increases the blood flow to your feet and heat loss through the skin, which helps lower the core body temperature. In turn, helps a person sleep faster. So,
see, I didn't know about that, but I somehow knew that was the case. So.
That's all that matters.
But. I guess that's a thing.
Well, see, that's one thing I noticed about you, Pierce. You're a barefoot person. Like when you're at home, like I feel like there's two kind of people: those who wear socks at home and those who don't. You be out here, you be in there, just living life, bro, barefooting it up.
Yeah, man. There's no point. If I'm not going out, I'm not gonna put socks on. It's a waste of socks. What am I gonna do? Put them back in my drawer? You know what I'm saying? And I do put socks on sometimes. Like if it's cold, I'll put some socks on. Like, I'm not just going to refuse to put them on, but I don't know. I'm at home. You feel me? Like, shit, I'm not going to wear a whole suit just because, you feel me?
Hey, never hurts.
I feel you on that, but my thing is what I do is the socks I have on from the day, I just keep those on and walk around my house. Is that dirty? Am I dirty for that?
Do you put socks on, like, when you get dressed? If you're not, like, going out immediately, when you get dressed, do you put socks on anyway? Like, do you get totally dressed or do you just put, like, some shorts on? You know what I'm saying? Like, because I'll put some shorts on and I won't have any other clothes on until I leave. And
I have a sock system. I have a
Okay.
sock system. So I have my, the socks that I wear for my outfit. My socks, I generally use the same socks for whatever, depending on the weather, of course.
Mm-hmm.
But what I'll do is, especially now that I'm in quarantine and you in the house all day, so you don't really want to be doing a lot of stuff. What I'll do is I'll assign a designated pair of socks to be the house socks. You know what I'm saying? And then if there's like an Amazon package downstairs, I have socks, that I'll put back on for when I need to go downstairs and I don't want to put on, shoes and stuff. So, what I'll just assign socks. And then, once it's time to wash those specific socks, I'll just put them in the wash.
Interesting.
I probably would have lost track of that shit if I was doing that.
Yeah, I've never heard of a sock. It makes sense. What kind of sock? What kind of do you guys like white, just like white, plain white, black socks, or do you guys like some colorful socks?
I don't discriminate.
I got all types. Sometimes socks go with the outfit. You feel me? Like sometimes you're trying to show the sock off because it completes the fit. You know what I'm saying? So you can't just always have white and black socks. I feel like it's a little boring.
I've never been a decorative sock person. Like I've never really like worn socks for the intention of like, showcasing them. I definitely have wanted to be that person, but it just has never happened.
I feel you. I mean, it's not an everyday thing. It's really if I'm cuffing my pants and I know my socks are going to show. Like I at least want them to fit somewhere. So they could easily be white and black socks, but it just depends on what I'm wearing that day. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. I agree.
For me, like if it's, I typically own white socks. Cause that's the majority of what people buy. Like, that's just normal. But what I like to do is I like to wear black socks though, because they're warmer. Black socks they're warmer on your feet no matter where you're at. So now, for example, when I went to Complex Con last year, and I typically don't put whole fits together, but this time I was like, all right, let me put a fit together. I wore my Lyrical Lemonade basketball shorts. And then I think I wore some mid Air Force Ones, some high like yellow socks, and then like I think like a yellow hoodie, yellow t-shirt, or some shit like that. So I looked like a large fry from McDonald's.
Yeah, I was about to say there's a lot of yellow on you.
but at the same time, what I'm saying, like that'd be the time where like I would wear socks like that. Like I'll wear socks whenever, for real, whether it be around the house, I want to stay warm, whatever the case may be. That's just how I rock it.
I feel you. I don't really know how we got on the topic of socks. All like that.
I don't either, but it's all good though.
Conversation about it.
But Pierce, you know who these niggas sleep on?
What?
KinMarie. They sleep on her, G.
Oh, of course, man. Of course.
These videos, bro. What?
Videos, photos. It's ridiculous.
Thank you.
Music videos?
Oh.
I'm sick. That shit was fire. Everybody, please welcome to the show the amazing KinMarie. Thank you for having us.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
There you go. Thank you. Of course, no problem. Of course, no problem. So, since we're on that, what got you into video and photography?
That's a really good question. It's actually kind of a loaded answer, to be completely honest. But long story short, I guess I kind of got well, okay, so first I was the creative director of a Chicago collective called Surreal Chicago. And I had never done like creative direction. I really had never done anything in the realm of creative direction or content creation or anything like that. So that was really my first stepping stone in figuring out if that was something that I could actually do, and it turned out like we gained success, but we literally, our first event, we had sold out. I mean, the line was out the door. And no, this is like some DIY show that we're having in our friend's apartment, and like we got people lined up down the stairs. And I don't know, I just kept producing different videos and making different graphic designs. I had a team of wonderful, wonderful people that were all my close friends from high school that, we all kind of worked together and made things happen. And then once we kind of parted ways, I don't know, I still found myself still having an interest in creative direction. So it really just came to researching really what creative direction is. and how to get into it the best way possible. So I just did a bunch of research. And then when I actually went to New York for the summer and did an internship there, kind of had time to really figure out who I am as an artist. And once I came back to Chicago, one of my best friends, Moon, asked me to be the creative director of a Chicago collective called Nixie Creators, where I got to shoot my very first music video. And I had never, ever, ever shot a music video before. We shot this music video for the Chicago rapper Anno Banks for his song Wi-Fi. And it was really cool. Like, it was cool. It was crazy. It was like things were changing last minute, and there were so many like different difficulties and like challenges to like figure out. And I just knew that I was going to get really frustrated and give up. But for some reason, it was like addicting. Like, the problems weren't really problems to me. It was just like a puzzle. And I just found myself really hooked on the idea of like, I don't know, I think it was really fascinating to me how I can literally just take things that are in my brain, write it up, draw it out, and make it happen in real life. So that feeling and the idea of being able to do that became very, very, very addicting. So I just kind of kept it going and did videos for friends, different collectives, and now I get to do it for, businesses and things like that. So it's pretty fun.
That's dope.
Did you have a question, Pierce?
Yeah, I was actually going to say, like, so did you at first kind of find it difficult to be able to take those ideas from your brain and be able to kind of make them visual for other people, or did it kind of come easy to you?
What I'll say is the ideas came really easy to me because I've always been someone, even before I knew that creative direction was something I wanted to do. I've always been a very imaginative person. Like, I've always been able to, like, one thing that I've always been able to do, even since I was younger, is like, I will, to this day, I will play songs and I'll just start making music videos and short films and whatever it is to whatever's playing in my ears. So I've always had a very movie-like thought pattern, honestly. I think the hardest part, to be honest, was just, the most difficult part was really being able to communicate my vision to other people, whether it's to clients or, different production crews that I'm working with, because I can have very interesting ideas, to say the least. So sometimes when you're trying to think about things that are typically unconventional, sometimes it can be difficult to get people on board because of the fact that when you don't really have much to refer to when it comes to your specific idea, like if it's a very interesting original idea, it can be very difficult to articulate, the direction that you want to go in, at least for me in this stage of the career.
So how long did it take you for you to really embrace yourself and these unique ideas? Because I'm sure at some point in time, we've all done it. We've had an idea and we're like, oh shit, did I really just think of that? Like, and I'm sure you have those all the time. So how long did it take you to really embrace how different and unique your thoughts are?
I would definitely say that it's still definitely a growing process. Every time I feel myself becoming more comfortable, I find myself expanding into something new, which means that I'm constantly always having to go back to a place of like really having to sit myself down and be like, okay, if this is the idea that you have to do it full out and you have to do it to your best potential. And I think one thing that really helps me to this day get back to that mindset is understanding that not everyone is going to understand you. Understanding that not everyone is going to agree with you. Not everyone is going to think in the same way that I'm going to think. But as long, that was me, my bad. But not everybody's going to think the way that you're going to think. But as long as you are actually taking the time to really flesh out your ideas, as long as you are doing everything with 100% intention, and when you take everything seriously, like not allowing an idea just because somebody doesn't understand or they may like it, but they don't care about it that much. If it's something that you're really fighting for or a vision that you really want to come to life, you have to take the initiative to really do it full out, you know? So that's just always been the thing that has brought me back to the mindset of, you know, reassuring myself that my vision is my vision and my vision is something that I want to pursue, is just remembering that, you know, if this is something I'm going to go along with, and that doesn't mean that my vision is always perfect, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not Picasso or anything, you know, and that's another thing that, you know, is something that you have to sometimes sit yourself down and have that conversation with. But when it's something that I'm really 100% passionate about, something that I'm 100% adamant on executing, I really just have to sit myself down and be like, okay, so if this is what we're going to do, how are we going to do it now?
Is anybody there?
So
yeah, we're here. I saw you cut out, but you cut out. But Ken, yeah, like that's really interesting to hear that. Because a lot of times as an artist, as much as you know, we may deal with outside interference, that the hardest thing we have to deal with is ourselves. Yeah, in my opinion. Indeed. There's a lot of things like, what do we want to express? How do we want to say these things? Do I actually feel this way, or is this only a temporary thing? Artistry is all about feeling things out, you know?
Right.
So, another question I have for you, actually, this is actually, not so much of a question, but my favorite video that you did was the video for DJ J-Doe. Am I saying that correctly?
Oh, yeah. DJ J-Doug.
J-Doug, whoopsie, sorry, my phone had locked. I had it right here. DJ J-Doug. What was the inspiration behind that video? That was one of the dopest concepts I've seen. And then, wow, that was raw.
It's actually very funny because okay, so that was originally for a series that it's not happening anymore, but I'm kind of pushing for them to bring it back to life.
Bring it back.
That's what I'm saying. It was a concept for the Chicago collective Nixie creators that I work for now. It was very interesting because Sunday Special was basically supposed to be his live DJ series where, you know, he basically once a month, the first Sunday of the month, he was going to do this live DJ session. And we basically were going to expand it from just like a live session to kind of like an in-house celebratory event for the Chicago community. And he wanted to do that because Sundays are really, you know, for a lot of people, Sunday it's either family time, it's meal time. And even if it's not family or meal time, that's kind of like the day of rest. It's the day of, you know, indulgence. It's the day of relaxation, chilling in the crib, whatever it may be for you. Sunday has significance for each person. And for him, Sunday was really significant to him because that's when he got to spend time with his family. That's when he got to, you know, eat dinner. That was his day to really just chill out. So we just combined, you know, his feelings and his idea of what Sunday means to him with, you know, one, the whole purpose of the show, but also the other love of his life besides spending time with his family, which is DJing and music. So we just basically combined the two and just did what we did, honestly. It was a pretty relaxed, coming up with the concept was pretty relaxed, honestly. It wasn't too vigorous, but it turned out way better than we thought it did, so.
Well, the thing that caught me off guard was, I obviously know that, first of all, that was a lot of food for one person. I'm like, damn, like,
yeah,
they really.
I was watching it right now. I was like, damn, like, that's all him.
You know what I'm saying? That's a fat ass nigga, bro. But at the same time,
Boston Market good as hell.
Ew, Boston Market's really fire. I don't know what what you guys think, but Boston Market flame.
I don't really fuck with it like that, bro. Like, this is gonna sound so petty, bro. But the outside of the restaurant just doesn't look attractive to me.
And that's why you won't eat it, is because the outside of the restaurant.
I just don't go to Boston Market though. When I think of Boston Market, I think of like my grandma, damn near. And I love my grandma.
Oh, so
I don't love Boston Market though. What did you say?
I said, oh. So
what'd you say?
I thought you were saying that you were repulsed by your grandmother. So I was like,
right.
No.
Doesn't make sense, sir.
Shout out to like how we were just saying about you. You have these thoughts in your mind, but it's hard to get everybody else on board.
Mm-hmm. Right.
I'm just waiting on y'all to get aboard this shit.
Just make a video about it, bro. Just make a video about it. You know.
People know, King.
Yeah.
Nah, I mean it's cool. Like I don't know. I'm not a big fan of eating soul food out. Like certain things I prefer cooked.
See,
like,
my thing is with Boston Market is it's really just about what your expectations are going into
Right.
the market. I feel like I know that I'm perfectly aware that I'm not going to go in there and get like the soul food to the caliber in which I want it. You know what I'm saying? Like it's not going to taste like my mom's soul food. You know. Is I think really Boston Market for me is really like, dang, I got money. I'm not trying to cook, but I really miss homemade food. I feel like that's like the fast food homemade meal for you. You know what I'm saying? So
that's why. No, I agree for sure.
The turkey, I've had like chicken, like turkey from there. It was super tender.
Yeah,
super soft, super fall off the bone.
Was it good?
It was good. I'm not gonna lie to you.
What's the problem with Boston Market?
You just want to hate.
Right, you want to be different. Hey, do your thing, man. Right. Do you like Cracker Barrel?
I don't eat a Cracker Barrel enough to give you an opinion.
I Cracker Barrel, but I be feeling guilty eating there because I don't know what it is. But Cracker Barrel just feels racist. Like eating.
Thank you. Like what the fuck?
I don't know.
It just sounds bad, bro.
Like somebody like I feel like I'm getting served my food, and then they're gonna be calling me the N-word in the kitchen. I can't. I can't do that.
I feel. I mean, I could understand that. I mean, it does kind of. I could see where you'd get that vibe off of it. I mean, I don't know. The food's fire though, so I mean, I may take the go or something.
I guess, but I mean, Pierce, technically, that's half your element. If they're really racist, that's half your element.
I'm good over there. A little bit at least.
That's why you love that shit so much. Real niggas go to Olive Garden on date night. That shit fancy.
Bro, Olive Garden is like not even good, bro. Like,
you're capping, boy. That shit.
If you want like Italian food, if you want like real good Italian food, that's not the place to go. But if you just want some like, I'll just make this shit. Bro, anybody can make that. Anybody can make the stuff that they make there. Like it's not hard. You feel me? I think most people go there for the breadsticks and the soup. Really, that's why people go there. To be honest, which it's not bad.
I used to love it so much. I used to have a college roommate that used to love Olive Garden so much that one time for her birthday, she made us go. She made us go pick up Olive Garden catering from the suburbs because that was the one that she liked. Or it wasn't in the suburbs. I think it was just really, really up north.
Was that specific one she liked?
Yeah, I think that was like the specific one that she liked. And like literally the amount of breadsticks that they will give you, because obviously you can't take home unlimited breadsticks, but the amount of breadsticks that they give you is fucking ridiculous. Like I believe they gave us like maybe 5+ trays of just breadsticks. I was like, what are we even?
That's crazy.
With all of
these? Just in case this pasta is terrible, take some breadsticks.
I guess it's a deal.
I'll take them, bro. I'll take them. Any day of the week, I'll eat them.
See, here's the thing though. Like, I didn't eat Olive Garden. Like, I think last time I went to Olive Garden before you worked there, Pierce. It was when I was a kid, and I was in my chicken tender French fry phase. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So my palate wasn't diverse enough to appreciate a pasta. So now when you worked there, and you were like, "Yo, you should go. Good deals, good food, yada yada yada." I'm like, "All right, well, my friend works there too, and he's working all the time, so this would be a good time to kick it with him." I go there, I eat. First thing I have is this is my thing, right? With restaurants and any type of food industry. If you cannot make good appetizers or sides, I don't want your food. Imagine going to a restaurant and you ask for mozzarella sticks and French fries and they're trash. Are you gonna want anything else on that menu?
Not at all.
You see what I'm saying? So I sat down, I had the mozzarella sticks, and I was like, "Yo, this shit smack. This is really good." So I know I'm in for a good meal. I've eaten out enough to know my stomach will tell you. I'm like half fat, half skinny, but this shit is just delicious, bro. Like, I love Olive Garden. You put me on to that. I feel like you only say that, Pierce, is because you worked there for such a long time. And you know that place in and out, and you're tired of it.
Probably, bro. I mean, like, this is the thing, man. When it comes to restaurants, like, a lot of people don't realize, like, how gross restaurants are. You know what I'm saying? Especially if you've never worked in one. Like, yo, and I guess I mean, this probably won't change your guys' mind at all, but, like, the kitchens aren't usually that clean. I mean, they're clean, but there's like sometimes shit goes on. Like the cooks, it's I don't know, bro. And plus, like, yeah, I whenever I'd work there, I would eat the food. I'd take soup or get some pasta. So like, yeah, I would get tired of it eating it 4 times a week. Like, fuck, all right.
Olive Garden exposed.
Yeah, that's everyone though. Like, what every restaurant I worked at, I don't want to go back there.
Yeah, I used to work. I used to work at this really fancy restaurant. It's this 5-star Vietnamese restaurant in Gold Coast. And I mean, the food was amazing. The food was fucking incredible. Like I could eat that food every day, and I'm pretty sure that I did. But man, that kitchen, I barely went. I was a hostess, so I never had to go in the kitchen. But when I did go in the kitchen, I was like, God damn. And I mean, we're charging people like $60, $70 for a crumb of bread here. You know, like it's kind of crazy how these restaurants run.
Yeah, man. Yeah, restaurants have like ruined eating out low key sometimes for me because I just know what goes on in the kitchen. You know what I'm saying? Like it's the same in every single kitchen I've been in. I'm just like, this is kind of gross. I'm not gonna lie, but you know, I don't know. Sometimes you just gotta suck it up because I'm not always trying to cook at the crib. You feel me? Sometimes I'm just gonna go out and hope I get a good meal.
Yeah, that's like Chipotle. I don't know if you guys heard again, but Chipotle got popped and got sued again for some other wildness that was going on in their kitchen.
Again, bro, how many times is Chipotle gonna get sued for having shitty food? Like the food, I'm not even gonna lie to you. Like I'll bang some Chipotle. I'm gonna be real with you, but like
I smack that shit. What?
Like how many times? Like this is like the 3rd time that they've gotten sued for something relating to their food. Like I don't know, bro. Like it's how many times until they just get shut down is my thing. Is like, okay, you can't keep putting lives in danger because you guys don't want to up your standards when it comes to food prep and all that stuff. But I don't know. I know people are still gonna be eating it. I have yet to have a bad experience from Chipotle. Like I know some people say like it like messes their stomach up a little bit. Never, not for me.
Yeah, here it is right here.
The cheese has been tasting weird for me.
The cheese,
the chicken. The chicken is really weird to me, and I don't know how to explain it exactly. But like, I haven't had Chipotle in like, I think the last time I had Chipotle was maybe like the beginning of this quarantine. But yeah, I don't know. The chicken is starting to taste like a little strange, so I honestly am not surprised that they.
That's crazy because I was going to before this quarantine. I was at Chipotle so much. Me and Vontrell both. Like, I think in the month of March. I know, month of February, I had Chipotle like 4 or 5 times. In the month of March, I had Chipotle before like the shutdown. I think I had it twice. So yeah, it's been crazy. And I'm looking at it here. April 21st, 2020, Chipotle Mexican Grill to pay $25 million fine linked to foodborne illness cases. Chipotle Mexican Grill has agreed to pay a $25 million fine that stems from the chain's issues with foodborne illnesses caused between 2015 and 2018. My God, that is crazy.
Man. I don't know, bro. Like,
they're always having issues.
Always having issues, man. Like, I'm sure restaurants can get just shut down from just bad performances, can't they? Like, I don't know. I mean, I guess if people keep going there, people are still going there. So, like, it's not like I don't think people really care.
People were going there when the E. coli outbreak was happening. So.
Exactly. So it's like,
I know I wasn't. I started going to Chipotle for a hot ass minute.
I haven't had Chipotle in the grip. I'm not even gonna lie to you, but I mean, I'd go back. I'm not even gonna front. I really would.
I think I would too. I'll take the bubbly guts and this shit for
all right, I don't know about all that, but I mean, you know.
Life is short, man. But like, life is short, bro. That's all I'm trying to say.
Yeah, I mean, if life is short, then you should at least get some like good Mexican food. You know what I'm saying? You don't gotta go to
McDonald's Mexican food. I mean, you right, bro. But at the same time, like, I've had so much good quality because Mexican food is my favorite food. But I've had so much good quality Mexican food that I'm okay. Like I've had all that. Like, you know, some people who went out a lot and had really wild lives. They were like, "Oh, I've done all that fun stuff. I've done all that fun stuff.
I've done all that. Okay. I just want the shit now. I just want crap.
I can deal with it. But quarantine's kind of changed my perspective on life and shit. What I really mean by I say life is short. What has quarantine done for you, Ken? Has it changed your perspective or anything? Creativity? What?
Oof, wow, yeah. I feel like this is the most creative I've ever been, to be honest. Like, it's really opened up, I don't know, like, it's just really opened up something interesting in me that I did not expect it to. But I definitely like it. It's definitely given me time to, like, have to sit down and reflect on what it is that I want to do. I feel like since I've really had no choice but to be in the house, it's circulated a lot of new ideas and things like that. So yeah, I feel like it's been really beneficial. I'm also just a person that generally really likes to be by myself. So I have no
This is
complaints.
ideal for you then.
Yes, I've been great of all.
So when what's it like to be that? I actually I've actually met someone before, like they just really prefer to be alone. And actually, Vontrell is actually one of those people. And what is that like? Because I'm someone who, like, I'm a socialite. Like I can spend a whole day inside, without choice. I actually used to be a lot like more just stay inside the house and fuck everybody. Huh?
No, it's funny you said without choice.
Without choice. Yeah, because right now we ain't got no choice.
Right.
But but like, I can, but after a while I'm gonna want to go out and see people, interact and talk to people and shit.
Mm-hmm.
Like I can't do that right now. So what's it like being someone that doesn't really want to be around people like that?
I guess for me, the thing is for me is like I'm one of those people that I don't mind being around people, especially because a lot of the stuff that I do outside of direction, I do a lot of work that requires me to be in front of people. So I'm used to, having that energy around. But what I'll say is being by myself is really cool because I can literally do whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like I can fuck up and ain't nobody there around to see it. I can watch whatever I want. I can do basically whatever I want from as much as possible, not anything I want, but to a certain extent. Um, but yeah, I don't know. I just think I just be chilling, and I always have something to do. Like I always find something to do. Plus, it also helps that what I actually really enjoy doing in life is also what I'm pursuing a career in. So, half of the time it's really just me like working, but having a great time doing it. So I don't know. I feel like if you have things to keep you occupied and when you feel really, I don't want to say when you feel really fulfilled with yourself, because you can feel fulfilled with yourself and still be a socialite, but I don't know. If you're somebody that is introverted and you feel fulfilled with yourself, it can be pretty nice, I would say.
That's good. That's what's up. Like I've actually had to find things to keep myself busy. So I've had no choice but to make do with being alone all the time. But and it's crazy I'm saying being alone, but I live with my parents, so I'm really not alone. I just,
Mm-hmm.
you know how that go. I ain't even.
I would be.
Now, did you have any plans or anything prior to COVID? Because I know, like, a lot of people, especially artists, have lost a lot of revenue. And I was actually talking to a friend of mine. He's a DJ, and he was saying how he had, because it's prom season.
Mm.
He had somewhere between 10 and 15 G's lined up worth of revenue.
Wow.
All gone due to COVID. So, did you have any plans prior to all this happening?
Honestly, I'm lucky to say that this was kind of a slower period of me when it started to come around. Mainly just because I was still in school and I was working. I worked on campus as well, so a lot of the stuff that I was doing was either connected through what I was working for through the school or through the collective mixing creators that I worked with. So the workload wasn't too crazy at the time, which is awesome. But what I will say is that it definitely did affect like potential clientele that I had. It definitely affected what else did it affected something else that I can't remember. But oh yeah, it definitely affected because the stay-at-home order came around like internship season when people are usually applying for internships and trying to figure out what they're going to do for the summer. So a lot of my like summer internships, of course, got canceled, which bummed me out a lot. But I mean, makes sense, especially because most of them I try to go to New York each summer while I'm in college. So of course, because New York is like the city with the most cases, basically everything is canceled. So that's unfortunate, but it happens. I mean, it doesn't happen, but it happens.
Do you have a question, Pierce?
No, I was just breathing.
Oh. So you talked about an internship in New York. What was that like for you?
So last summer was my first real internship in New York. It was pretty cool. It was kind of difficult to get because originally I was supposed to be doing a PR internship for this actress. But celebrity level actresses are very difficult to get a hold of because there's so much going on in their career lives. So that internship was kind of a flop, but then I joined this company called Name It, which is a telecommunications company for ethnic people. And that was really cool because I got to meet I got to go to visit different networks like HBO. I'm blanking on all the networks that exist right now, but I met them. That was a really cool experience, and really made me interested in, pursuing art direction and things like that. What I will say is that it definitely turned me off to the corporate aspect of things. Definitely don't want to be in the corporate realm. People just seem too boring.
Fake.
Yeah, it's very fake, and I just cannot. But yeah, it was a really cool experience, honestly. It was fun. It was just nice to be in New York. It was just really nice to be in a different space for a summer. So
yeah, I've heard really good. When things with New York, I never hear it's just okay. I hear really good things, really bad things. Yeah. I hear that it's one of the best places on earth. It's beautiful. The people, everyone there is nice. And then I'll hear something like, "Oh, everyone's an asshole. Yeah. The streets are filled with garbage."
You'll hear a mixture for sure. It's one of those. I love New York, but I loved it because my summer there, it was like a roller coaster of me hating New York and loving New York. And then the end was me loving the things that I hate about New York. It was definitely a relationship that had to be built. It's just it's Chicago on 10,000 people wise and environment wise. There's just things happening all the time. And not all of it is great things. Some of it is just overwhelming and completely unnecessary. But it's a great city. I stayed in Bed-Stuy, Brooklyn, and that's where I stayed in my cousin's apartment while she was in Chicago. So that was really cool. And that neighborhood is super nice. It was the neighborhood that I was in was like a rougher version of Hyde Park with really cool things to do at all times.
That sounds like a movie.
Yeah. Honestly, that's the best way that I can explain it. But it was just, it's so crazy because it's you're walking down, like in Chicago, for example. In Chicago, I feel like it's for example, in Hyde Park. Everybody knows that 53rd Street, Hyde Park Boulevard, those are the designated places to go to restaurants, to do activities, this, that, and the third. Mm-hmm. Where in New York, it's obviously those neighborhoods do have those hot spots like any other neighborhood, but then they also have all this stuff infused in the actual residential areas. So you'll just be walking and you'll see a random dojo, or you'll be walking. I remember one time I found this really crazy vegan tea bar place called the Secret Garden, and it literally looked like a secret garden. You went in and you're just overwhelmed with plants and flora and fauna. But I mean, it's really cool. It's spontaneous. That's what I really like about it. It's not the same thing. That's the one issue with Chicago, is that sometimes, the things that if you're really from here, you see everything all the time. So sometimes it can feel really redundant. But I don't know, in New York, and it could have just been because I'm new there, of course, but it just felt like everything was just constantly changing and it was constantly new. And I loved it and hated it at the same time.
That's bad interesting, actually. Do you have a favorite memory from that time when you were interning out there that you kind of brought back with you?
Oh man, yeah. Let me think.
I'm sure you got a lot of them, so you don't got to go through the whole list.
Yeah, I'm trying to think what is the best. I feel now that I'm talking about New York, I'm blanking on everything that I did.
I hate it when that happens. I could be focusing on something and I can't wait to talk to somebody about this.
Well, there was this really cool. This isn't the coolest moment. Actually, no, I'll take that back. Pride was really cool. Pride was one of the coolest moments for me. Just because, of course, I'm only used to Chicago Pride. And Chicago Pride is pretty cool. It's just people lined up and looking at the parade, and then it kind of ends because in Chicago we like, all right, it's past our bedtime. Where in New York they're up. So once the parade was closed, like the official Pride parade was closed, there was like people still going down, like floats and people and dancing and music still, and the parade was over. The parade was done. And I mean, all night it was just a whole celebration, and it was just so lively and crazy. Like honestly, one of the best Pride experiences that I ever had. I definitely would recommend if you ever go to Pride and just have some fun. New York Pride is definitely the place to go and just kick it.
See, what I've heard is that Pride festivals, and not to knock Pride festivals. Mm-hmm. Okay, guys, let's not get me out of here.
You about to knock Pride festivals?
No, I'm not. I'm not. I just don't want people to get me the fuck up out of here.
All right, what you about to say?
Shall we pray before I say it? No, I'm playing. I've just heard that Pride festival sometimes isn't even about having pride in it. Sometimes people just turn it to one big sex fest. Like that's what I was told by someone who's actually in the gay community.
It definitely depends. It's one of those things where it depends on who you are and depends on your outlook on it. It definitely can be a big sex fest depending on where you are in the festival and what you're doing. But also, I mean, like, I see a lot of people that, of course, treat it like a sex fest, but in a more, like, celebratory way. The people that I do see kind of treat it more so like a sex fest, it never is really, like, a problem because it's clear that it's just, like, this is what they want to do. This is what they came here to do, and they're just having a good fucking time. And nobody's told them, that they can't. So, they just do what they do. But it's honestly just like a mixture. It's a mixture. And I think whoever that person is and wherever they're from, they might be more familiar with their local pride. And that's just really what it is. But I don't know. When I went, it was just a good time. Like, it was just a good time. And it was just people dancing. And of course, you had like naked people and, people gyrating and shit, but it was fun. You know what I'm saying? It was good, and niggas is grown and doing their thing. So it was just Facts. It's a good time. It really is, and it's honestly just like what you make of it. To be honest,
was that your first time away from home?
Yes, that was my first time. Well, that was my first time away from home for like a long period of time. I've never been out of Chicago for longer than like a week, so it was definitely very, very new for me, to be honest.
Was that difficult at first, being gone for so long for the first time?
No, honestly, it really wasn't that hard because I really love, I don't know if you guys are into astrology, but I'm a Sagittarius. So I really like adventure. I really love new experiences. I love, again, I was saying earlier, I like solving puzzles. So definitely being in New York was a giant puzzle for me to solve. And I was really, really excited to solve it because, I don't know, the idea of like entering a new environment and having no idea what's, going to come of it is something that I love to experience. So it definitely was not that hard.
That's dope. What did it do for you creatively?
I think creatively, I would say that it didn't really like, I don't know. I didn't really have like this artistic awakening there or anything. I feel like this first time, because when I go back, I feel like things will be a tad bit different. I feel like I'll be more hands-on artistically. I feel like my experience this last time around really was just me observing. And really just me like taking in my environments. Yeah, and it didn't really have like a big change on me artistically, just because I don't know if they have a big like, underground like DIY community scene, but Chicago's is huge, and those are the scenes where I really begin to, I don't know, I feel like I really tap into who I am as an artist, and I really didn't find myself in a lot of those environments in New York. Just because I feel like, I don't know, maybe I just haven't, I wasn't too that deep in there, but the community aspect just wasn't really there as much for me. So it didn't really spark a lot of, artistic juices, to be honest.
I get you, because I know for me, when I first traveled, like the first time I left home, first place I traveled, I went to Portland, Oregon. It was right after I like dropped out of paramedic school. So I went, and it was just like a whole eye-opening experience. Like, first time away from home, a whole new environment. There's a bunch of nature around me, and it sparked a lot of different stuff in me that I never really knew I had. And that's why I wanted to ask, because sometimes travel does that for you. Like, Pierce, I know when you went to Colorado, that was a great experience for you.
Man, when I went to Colorado, I want to go back high key. Like, I want to go back for a lot longer this time. It's honestly just beautiful. Like, when you go out there, it kind of like, for me, I just kind of forgot about all the stresses I was having back at home and shit like that. Like, it really was just, I just wanted to be out with like nature. Like, cause like when you're out there, like, I don't know, man, it's just the landscape, the people, like the air is different. It's like a little bit more crisper. You know what I'm saying? Like it was just a crazy, crazy experience. But yeah, I don't know. Like it might just be because, you're just going somewhere else that you're not familiar with. I'm sure if we grew up in these places, it would just be home to us. You feel me? Like, and then if we travel to Chicago, that shit would be ridiculous. You know what I'm saying? So like, I just feel like because we live here and we see this all the time, we've been here forever. Like this is nothing new to us. But I know plenty of people that have come to Chicago for the first time and they're like, like, wow, this is amazing. And I got to go see this and I got to go see that. I'm just like, you want to go see that really? But like, they've never seen it. You know what I'm saying? Like, so, but yeah, man, I don't know. Just traveling in general, bro. Super dope. Like, I definitely recommend for everyone to do it. Obviously, it's not the.
I went to Denver, Colorado when I was in high school, and that was like the worst experience of my life. Like I hated it so much. And it wasn't even because of Denver itself, because that was my first time on a mountain. It was just gorgeous. But it was just like the people were scaring the literal shit out of me. Like
How?
Oh my God. Okay, so I was there. In high school, I was a part of this theater program for, I don't know if you guys know Steppenwolf Theater, but they're a Chicago theater.
Yeah.
Okay, so they have this high school program for teenagers. And there was this theater called Curious Theater. They have this program in Denver where they send high school students from different theater programs to Denver you basically have to write, cast, and produce an entire play in a week. You have 1 week to do it.
Wow, that's intense.
It's literally insane. And so I got to go. And it was me and my other friend who was a part of the theater program. We got to go, and we were there with other like 3-4 other chosen high school students around the nation. And it was really nice at first. Like it was cool. We had this Airbnb. That was my first time. This is high school, so I'm like, ooh, I'm living by myself. I'm an adult.
I'm grown.
Right. And it was just like, man. I remember like I think it was the second day. Our Airbnb was 15 minutes away from the theater that we were working at, so we used to just walk because it's Colorado and it's very beautiful. And this car followed me. It was like this white truck, and he follows me, and he's literally jacking off in his car.
What?
Like openly, like I'm not scared. I'm not like terrified. I'm literally just so confused as to why this white man in this white truck is comfortably and openly masturbating while following me down each block. And so that was just not a good time. And then
I can't believe that.
Exact day though. That same exact day, I leave the theater to like where the front door of the theater is their parking lot. So I walk out of the front door just to like get some air, take a break or whatever. And this lady who is like, she clearly looks like she has been methed out for like 2-3 years straight. And skin is picked out of the side of her cheek. She has these 2 chihuahuas and they're just rabid. And I'm like looking at her, and she looks at me and she goes, "Oh, you're such a pretty lady." And like literally starts following me down the sidewalk. So I'm like, okay, this is too much. So I call an Uber to go to a restaurant that was like maybe like 5 buildings down. But I literally was like, I can't walk in this city anymore. And this dude pulls up in this like super huge, tall ass red truck. Like to the point where, and I know I have very long legs. I'm literally stretching my legs up to get into this truck. It was too much. It was too much at one time. It was too much at one time. I couldn't deal. So Denver, I don't know, but it was great environmentally, but why can't do that one? Can't do that
Yeah, well, clearly we had different experiences. But yeah, that okay. I understand why you don't like Denver, Colorado that much anymore, because that would be
right.
Like just the guy masturbating in his car. I'm like, all right, bro. Like,
Oh my god,
this is not the city for me.
I'm pretty sure that the owners of my Airbnb were skinheads. I'm pretty
Oh,
have a conversation, but I am like 55% sure.
Damn, you just had like the worst time there. It sounds like everything just went wrong that could have went wrong.
Yeah.
That shit sound like a horror film. Oh my god!
Literally, and the bedrooms had no locks on them. It was
what? Oh hell no! Hell no!
You walking in your room, just like, bro, can you at least knock or something? Like,
right. Were you in your Airbnb by yourself? Was there a group of people in one Airbnb?
Yeah, everybody in my group all stayed in that same Airbnb. So me and the girl from Chicago, we shared a room, and then they all shared their own rooms. And we thought that we had the house to ourselves because that's what the Airbnb, I guess, when the owner of the theater requested the space, it was supposed to be an entire house. But it wasn't. They were sleeping on the second floor, and like we could hear them every night, just like creaking, like the floors creaking and stuff. And I used to be like, "Oh my god, it was crazy."
That's so wild because my Airbnb experiences was dope. Like she literally, as soon as I got to LA, she dropped me off. I walked first. There was a keypad to get in the house. So you typed in the key. She was there waiting for me. She offered to let me. She said I could use her bike if I wanted to. She even had a little book and pamphlet prepared for me in the event that I want to go out and check out some events. So literally, it had, this restaurant's open till this time, and you go to this festival. She could offer to go to these places with me. So that's crazy to hear that you would. When I hear bad Airbnb experience, that's crazy because I had a super host. She was the shit. Let me cook. I even picked up eggs for her out of courtesy. Like it was dope.
Yeah, I've never had like, I don't know. I don't think, maybe I'm lying, but I don't think I've never been in too many Airbnbs. Like I went to a Airbnb in Denver, and that was obviously terrible. And then the only other Airbnb I've ever been inside of wasn't even for a vacation. I think that was in high school. And somebody had like a party or something. I don't even think. I guess after that one experience in Denver, I guess I've just crossed off Airbnbs.
I mean, I don't blame you, to be honest with you.
Not at all. But now, how do you get creativity now and get inspiration? What shows like do you watch and things like that? I saw last night you retweeted a scene from Insecure. That's one of your favorite scenes. But how do you like what shows are you watching right now that kind of inspire you?
Honestly, where I am right now is I'm actually reading a lot more because I'm really trying to learn like the art of storytelling, like really learning how to successfully tell a story and trying to mimic that into something visual. And I'm also just on YouTube and Vimeo. I'm really into watching like different indie short films right now. Because that's definitely like the next obstacle that I'm trying to tackle is to really learn how to successfully make an entire short film. So yeah, I'm watching a lot of good ones. A really good one, if you haven't watched it, I honestly advise anyone to watch it when they're stressed or they're overwhelmed. There's this short film called The Man Who Was Afraid of Falling. It is so good. It's a stop motion film and it's really simple. Like it's a super simple short film. And it's maybe like 5 minutes. But it's the sweetest thing. And it honestly just makes, every time I watch it, it just makes every problem in my life feel very small. Because it puts a lot of things into perspective. But yeah, short films definitely are a big thing that I'm watching right now. I am watching. I've always been a very big Issa Rae fan. Like, she's actually my inspiration she's like the reason why I continue to pursue art direction and storytelling and things like that. Because writing was my pastime before I really got into direction. But she's definitely one of my biggest inspirations. This season, I'm not the biggest fan yet of it, but definitely Insecure is something that I watch for inspiration. This season, I find inspiration more so like in the, I guess in like the visual aspect of things. It's shot very well. I mean, it's always been shot very well, but this season is shot very nicely. But yeah, those are like the main things I find inspiration in, I guess.
I've never watched Insecure, and so I'm saying this not to knock the show because I've never watched it, but like, what is the what is the draw to that show?
I think the draw to that show is really Issa Rae when she first came out. Well, she has an autobiography that I actually just finished today called "The Misadventures of an Awkward Black Girl." And I think that she dropped that book like maybe 2015, 2014. I'm not 100% sure. But I know that when that first show came out, when Insecure came out and people started to kind of understand Issa Rae's brand, because she used to have the web series and Awkward Black Girl web series before she became really famous. I think people really connected to the show really because of her. I think she represents a lot to a lot of Black women who are trying to make their way in the world creatively, but may have had some issues, maybe whether it is like social issues or just like with anxiety or being awkward in general or Black identity issues. She just represents a lot of that. And a lot of those issues and a lot of those feelings that a lot of people can relate to through her, she really expresses it a lot through her show. And I think that that's really cool because it's nice to get that representation in a way that's not, it's nice to get that representation in a way that's not like head ass or forced or like generic as fuck, or that it's not genuine. I think that's why a lot of people got attached to the show. Because I know that's why I got attached to the show. Because the first and second season are great. But yeah, this season, I don't know what's
on. That's how everyone felt about the last season of Game of Thrones. I never watched Game of Thrones. Did you guys ever watch it?
No, never. I watched one episode of it.
I've never watched Game of Thrones, but I've always wanted to watch Game of Thrones. I need to just watch. It's not like I don't have the opportunity to watch it. I don't know. Like, I feel like because people talk about it so much, I don't feel the urge to watch it, which is weird. But
that and like, I don't know, maybe I'm just talking to the wrong people, but I don't know anybody under the age of 35 that watches that show. Real shit.
I do. Hey, not like old.
What? No. Game of Thrones.
Yeah, I know.
I thought you said you don't watch it.
I don't watch it, but I know people who do or have.
I don't. Excuse me. I definitely don't. Maybe I'm the wrong one. I just don't, bro. I
think you're correct on that
one. What'd you say? Nah, but I just
maybe it's just like you're not into like the theme of it. You know what I'm saying? Like the whole like medieval dragons and kings and queens.
I feel like a lot of people under 35 really like that show because of the like fantasy, like.
Yeah, exactly. I could see the draw to it for sure. I'm sure if I watched the show, I would like it. And actually continue watching. I just never took the time because I didn't. What was it on like HBO? I didn't have HBO, so I couldn't really watch it like that. And now it's over. I guess I can go get the box sets and everything, but that's a commitment, man.
Isn't it? The whole show is over, isn't it?
Yeah, the last season I think was like last year or something like that. And yeah, apparently from what I heard, everyone was pissed about the last season. Apparently, it was trash.
Oh yeah, I heard that.
Yeah, I couldn't tell you. Actually, visually though, I've always been in an anime. Are you into anime at all?
Hmm. I'm not the biggest anime fan, but I definitely like it, and I like a lot of their drawing styles.
What anime do you watch or did you watch?
Right now, I'm watching this one on Netflix that my one of my best friends had recommended to me called Beastars.
Yo, I just finished watching that a couple
Is
like a
it
week.
good? Do you like it?
It's like, it's actually a really good show. It's just like I don't know. I'm not even gonna lie to you. Like there's parts during it where I just feel a little weird watching it.
Same.
Because it's just like I don't know. Like it's a mature show. Like I'm pretty sure it's rated M or whatever. But and like so I get so like the stuff that happens in it is like okay it fits, but just because it's just a bunch of animals, you know what I'm saying? I'm just like I don't know if I feel comfortable. I finished. Okay, let me clarify. I finished the season. You know what I'm saying? But like
I'm
it's
only
just I don't know, bro. It's just weird. I'm not gonna lie to you. It's weird.
it's basically like life reversed. So like the animals are the humans, and like humans
Hmm.
are animals, essentially.
Yeah, and it's
Oh,
like there's like carnivores and like on like there's predators and prey and stuff like that. It's like people still get eaten because these are animals. You know what I'm saying? But it's like against the it's pretty crazy. Like it's a good show. It's just like I don't know,
Yeah,
kind of weird, but it's a good show for sure.
I'm only halfway through, but it's definitely a lot. Some of the things I'm like, oh, I mean,
Yeah, I know. Oh my god.
I do not want to watch this.
Yeah, that's the same way I felt. I was just like, I don't know if I feel like if someone walked in on me watching that at a certain scene, I would shut my TV off. I'd be like, I can explain, like this is not what you think, because that's what you would think. Because it's just like, what am I watching right now? Like, how did this even get on Netflix? But it's on there, so you know.
That's how I used to feel watching Shameless in middle school. I used to be obsessed with the show Shameless, but in that show, there's sex scenes literally
Mhm.
every other day. So I used to be so anxious that my parents, black parents, don't be having no boundaries sometimes, so they just be walking in. I was like, I am so scared that they're gonna walk in on this really good show, and only see me watching these two teenagers have sex.
And it's always during those scenes. It's never when like it's like happy scene. It's always during the sex scenes.
Yes,
I'm like, yo, like, do you like stand by the door and like listen so
right.
you can barge at the right time? Like,
So,
you got it down pat. That must just be a skill you get as you become a parent, you know.
probably.
I do. I definitely think that when you have kids, you develop like another like six or seven sense. I mean, nobody in this chat has kids, but like I think you just kind of develop another sense about you
Mhm.
that just kind of comes
Probably,
with time.
probably. I don't know. I don't. I hope I don't
Yeah,
find out anytime soon.
yeah. I'll tell you when I'm 30. Um, so now, what about movies? What are some of your favorite movies?
Oh, that is a really hard question. Some of my favorite movies. My favorite movies. I just did something. I just talked about this on Twitter the other day, actually. So let me think. What did I say? Grand Budapest Hotel. What
Ooh,
movie? Good ass movie. Electric Children. If you guys haven't seen that movie, that is a very wild movie.
What's that about?
It's so it's basically like I wouldn't say that it's almost like this really weird, messed up indie version of The Birth of Christ, but it kind of is. Um, it's so basically like this Amish girl. I wouldn't say it's about the birth. I don't know. This Amish girl. She lives in this Amish community, obviously, and her brother has this like room with like secret tapes and shit, and she goes in and like breaks into his room of secret tapes and starts playing one and is like falling in love with this tape because she's Amish and they don't have these rock and roll tapes anywhere. And he like walks in and is like obviously pissed and they start like wrestling and like fighting over the tape. And then the mom walks in because she hears a commotion and she thinks that her children are having sex with each other. So she's like,
Oh my
what
god!
what is going on? And they're like, no, it's not like that. We're just fighting over tape. But she is not listening. So she kicks out the brother. Like the brother has to leave the land. So they kick out the brother, and the brother like I think he like sleeps in the dad's truck or something. And then from what I remember, the girl, she falls in love with whoever this man is on the blue tape so much that she's like, I'm running away and I have to find the man in the blue tape. So like she runs away, but she steals her parents' truck, but the brother's inside the truck. So she drives and runs away, not knowing that she's taking the brother with him. So they get to like, I think they go to like Las Vegas. They go to they go to Las Vegas, and this dude, like these weird like hippie band dudes, come out of this venue, and one of the dudes, he has a shirt and it has a blue tape on it. So in her head, she's like, "Oh, this is the guy with the blue tape because he has a blue tape on his shirt," and that's totally and literally just like hops in their van and like lives life with them, like crashes at their place. And she actually ends up getting pregnant, but it's like off some like immaculate conception type shit. Because she didn't have sex with anyone while she was there. But it's a really cool movie.
Oh wow,
that sounds crazy.
Very crazy, because it's really just like that is the focus of the movie, but the movie is really about her, getting accustomed to this life, really like tapping into her youth and who she is as a young person. But it's crazy. But I definitely would watch that movie if you guys ever get a chance. It's not on Netflix anymore because Netflix, they took off all the good indie movies that used to be on there. But it should be on Amazon Prime. But yeah, that's one of my favorite movies. What else is my favorite? I have another one, but I'm blanking on what.
Here, well, while you waiting on that, I'll tell you. One of my favorite movies is Inception. I just like the way that everything. Like I like movies that are really intricate that make you think. Don't get me wrong. I'm an action fan. I like crazy shit, and I like comedy. But movies that are kind of make you think towards the end will really kind of have you like, damn. Like it kind of leaves you like with something like that. Like can't remember any movie that's been like Inception since Inception came out. Like, I think that's Leonardo. I think that's kind of like Leonardo at his best. Besides The Great Gatsby. The Great Gatsby was a really good job too.
See,
you know what?
I've never watched Inception. I'm too scared to watch it.
Scared? It's not like a scary movie though.
Yeah, but I like scary movies. I'm scared to watch it because it just seemed like, I don't know. I'm so scared about how complex it is. Like I'm scared that I'm gonna get lost in it. Like I'm gonna be so upset trying to solve the puzzle that I'm gonna drive myself crazy. It's like that movie. Have you guys seen Danny Darko?
I have.
No.
That movie, like, like the first time you watch it, it ends and you're like, what just happened? But it's like the movie is good, but you don't know what just happened. Like it's like you kind of gotta watch that movie like at least like you gotta keep watching it and you end up discovering so many new pieces. But I know that Danny Darko was intentionally made like that, but like Inception clearly was really made to be like that. So I'm like, I've all these years, I'm like, I don't know if I'm ready to start this puzzle. I just don't know.
Fact. Now, switching gears back to you, right? A lot of times with our careers and the things that we choose to do in life, it often relates to our childhood. Do you remember anything growing up that kind of influenced you to take this path?
Yes. As a kid, I was very dramatic. I'm still kind of dramatic in some ways. I a lot of people, but I'm kind of dramatic sometimes. But yeah, I definitely was very dramatic. When I was little, I used to want to be a singer. And I've always been a person that liked to entertain. Like I just liked being able to know that I can make something to catch someone's attention. And I was dramatic. So I like to do things to get people to pay attention to me most of the time. So I used to like stand on tables and sing when my like family members would come over. I remember one time I like made this like it was supposed to be like a mini carnival in my bedroom, but it wasn't a carnival. It was just like different stations in my bedroom where you got to do different activities, but none of my cousins came. So it was like a waste of time. But I don't know. Like I used to just be very. My family has always pushed me to imagine very large. So I've always been a very big thinker, a very dramatic, big picture, entertaining character. I've always been very animated. I've always been able to make people laugh without trying. So yeah, I don't know. I feel like I've just been always been myself, and I've just had people encourage me, in certain aspects of my life.